I realized yesterday that for my first video, I just winged it. Still winging it. I'm gonna still wing it today. I didn't bring gloves. I wore the worst shoes, and I didn't bring water. Gloves. I also have my good boots on. I use Thorogood. They are great for ankle support. As you can see, it gets a little rugged. We do have hogs that like to tear up our property. But they're just trying to find some grub, just looking for worms. If you've ever seen Lion King, they're just not gonna come up to them and just say, eat me. You actually have to dig and root. And that's what hogs do. They dig and they root. Hakuna Matata. All right, so I am going to get in a place where I know that in this general area, there are quite a bit of vines just waiting to be harvested and trees waiting to be rescued. So to give you a good example, I don't know if you can see it, but this one here is a good example of a vine. This one's super thick. I really have to get my muscles warmed up if I want to try to wrap that. Not sure that's going to happen today. Oh, and then here's another. So what we'll do is I found another wonderful place. Drop everything. I'll get myself set up and get ready to start wreath making and actually walk you through the process from start to finish as well as I can, as fast as I can. So let's get started. It's on. I am also realizing that you can't really hear me if I'm not close to the camera. So I'm gonna do the best I can to harvest the vines, then chit chat with you, see how that goes, so that I can make my way closer to the camera. All right, I'm just gonna go look for them first before I get the lobbers. This is very uneven ground here, so it's possible I have my little accident. I am not asking for it, but all right. Oh, you're gonna lose me. That will not be very helpful to lose me if I'm trying to teach you how to do it from start to finish. So let me grab this. Oh my gosh. Anybody want to be a cameraman for a day? Actually, my fun might be a matter of opinion, but wow. So this one's dead. Is that a branch? No. So this one, I love these. These make the coolest wraparounds, but we don't start those with a base. I am going to have to lobber that one is strong. Oh, and there's a ton of them over here too where you can't see. So I can just pull those off here. You can see it. So you see that little curly Q? Those are my favorite. They really create a beautiful wrapping around. But I think from this area, I can get my base and every started. So if you see this one right here, it's perfect. So this here, just cut it down to here. I want to give them a name. So if you ever want to give things names on my show, feel free to chime in. But this little in a spiral motion all the way up, and that is just my favorite vine. I have a favorite vine, that's weird. So we are gonna cut this one here because it's possible that I am going to have to pull on it and then get it away from these curly vines. I might have to cut that, which is sad, but I think that's enough curl. So I'm gonna cut that right about up on the top. I don't know if you can see it. High enough up to give you a long enough curly vine, but low enough to pull on some of the excess coming from the top of the tree. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull that, so I'm just going to cut as high as I can up. Holy mackerel, this has gotten crazy. I've tried to block when I give y'all a show because I want this to be family friendly, and the way I teach my children, whether or not they want to abide by that, is most of them are getting to be adults. But a general rule is most men that are in a either serious relationship or married do not want their women's stuff on the internet. So I try to be honoring of that, or I want to be honoring of that. Not try, but I want to keep some things very private. So that's why they call them private parts, not public parts. I am not judging. This is just a personal preference. I love my husband. If I push on that, I don't think I'm going to get, but I think this is going to be just large enough to do a decent wreath base. So yesterday I didn't show you how to start out with the base. This might break actually. So this, yep, it broke. Well, Kelsey, we're just gonna get more of these little cool vines. I'm gonna come back to that other tree, but there's this one. We're gonna have to go to, I think I have something that can make the base now. Definitely not that bigger chunky one. That will happen a lot more than it doesn't. You will get a hold of a a great chunky vine, and it just isn't going to let you bend it. I'm sure I can go back and salvage it, but I'm trying to be as quick as possible without hurting myself. So I can show you actually how to start the base first. And then, so some of this is really good. Another thing that's important that I didn't bring safety glasses. That's helpful because particles can come down and hit you in the face, the eyeballs, or wherever. And you don't want that to become an issue. So I'm gonna launch these where I can get to them. And I'm going to just gather my wreaths. Good grief. Yesterday I couldn't say wreath, today I'm saying wreath instead of vine. Gather my vines. Hold on. Give me a second. Be right back. I am back, but we are not going to stay in this spot for long. I just need to grab a few more things here. I really like this vine over here a lot, and I want it, but it's in pig territory, and this is something that Tarzan took off on. Watch out for that, and could probably take off into the jungle and rope them through the tree. So I'm just going to softly, not really softly, just kidding. I didn't get what I wanted, but I got enough that when I start making the base can be a little bit better. There is a ton of vines over here, a ton, but oh gosh. See, this one here has been cut. I'm sure I cut it. Do you see how fast it grew? This is the bottom, this is the top. I cut them to about 6 inches before the root, and I was in here a week ago. They are absolute insane. They definitely have staying power. So I'm going to finally set up and show you the base. Here we go. So, water. Here we go. I'm really going to try super hard not to make this the longest video of your life. So this one is pretty straightforward, right? It's a good vine. Doesn't have a lot of like other vines and stuff wrapping around it. It's a good place to start. You just have to decide if you want it to be 16 inches. I just eyeballed and say it's probably about 18. It does look a lot bigger on camera. Things are bigger and more beautiful on camera. I like this angle because the camera's up, but there's some blockage there. I had to do a lot of editing yesterday because of my squatting. So this is what we're gonna go with. We're gonna go and say this is about 18 inches. And we're gonna start from there. So what I did was here's the start. I rolled it together, circled it up, did a little circle. And then, as you can see, I wrapped it under one time. I'm about to tie a knot in it, all right? Oh, that's why I don't wear gloves, but I have to wear gloves if I want to lead by example and do what's right. Do not let go of it, right? With your free hand, you are going to start getting your other vine, but this will come apart until you wrap it. There are the laws of physics or whatever. I am not a genius, but it doesn't take a lot to know that if you let go, there's not a lot holding it together. So use your better judgment. Holding on, or use my example first. This one here might have a little extra stuff on it, which is fine. It makes the character really stand out. So where I started my loop, you want to go to where you can even it out, right? So wrapping around again, that one broke. Wrapping around again. This might not have as much dexterity as I want, but be careful at first. I guess don't be all crazy and sporadic with your movements so that if you do have a flimsier stick, you're not breaking it and having to start all over again. So I'm just going to start wrapping it. You saw me doing this yesterday as I was chit-chatting. That's gonna happen. And what I do is I just gather it back and I take it and I hold it and I do exactly what I told you to do earlier. Hold on to it, don't let go, and start wrapping more, holding it steady in parts that can get released because there's nothing securing it yet. Here I'm being a little bit more careful with because so great. The vine. Oh, give me a second. This guy is making me nervous, so I'm gonna wrap him around again. Actually, I'm gonna do two. Take one of these little guys and just wrap these guys up, right? So take a little guy and allow him to help me keep this together. Flexible. He's not like these older branches who have creaky sounds when they move. Or they just break, or that too. Sometimes you gotta get down and really just push it into place. There we go. So, multitasking. I know that there has been a time in your life where you probably put that on a shop resume. To each their own. I have learned to that multitasking is the enemy of production. If I multitask and I'm trying to do a million things at one time, I will not be very productive, and it's my enemy. We have some more to do, but now I am free to release it. Obviously not chunk it. It's not a Frisbee, but release it and give myself the ability to just know that I'm not going to have to start all over. So, versus actually what I feel the viewers need and the process, or whatever you want to call this. Very passionate about it. So I yesterday called it my job. So interesting, because that's, I think, the first time I've ever called it my job. Wait, you know what? Oh, but the sun's in the way. All right, so here we go. We have her on our way. We have our base. She's a beaut. She is looking good. She is bigger than 18 inches, or just over it. So she could be maybe a 20 or 22 inch wreath. And when you start out with an 18 inch smaller, you start out with your base. You hear that crack? It did crack, but it did not break. I'm just going to continue on until it does break, which I don't think this one will. But you will start out with, oh, I'm going to have this looks like it's going to be 18 inches. And then when you get done, as you're weaving, you're going to probably find yourself changing the size of it in your head. It's not going to be 18 inches, it's going to be more 22 or maybe even smaller. So that's okay. I have advertised us as get what you get. No, I'm just kidding. I do not do that. Approximately, I'm approximately this large, or every wreath is unique, because it is. Like, you're going to see one on a picture and you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I'm going to try to make it identical to that, so the customer will be satisfied because that's what they saw in the picture. But that's not going to always be the case, right? You're going to have a different curve, or oh my gosh, yesterday, story time, triangle, once I was done with it, right? A triangle. And I thought, what in the world am I going to do with this? What a bummer. And I think I shared it just for introduction. It ended up being our Easter basket. Where did that part go that I wanted to tie down? It ended up being so big. I think it was over 32 inches, if not more. Giant, gorgeous. I turned it into an Easter basket because it was exactly the shape of an Easter basket handle, and the bottom part was flat enough for me to really fluff up the flowers. Will not be shipping. That would be very costly, and it would probably look like someone robbed the Easter basket by the time it got to its destination. So we're going to just keep that as maybe decoration or a cute little eye-catching. Now, if someone wants to buy it at a market, knock yourself out. I hope you have a really big door or a space on your back porch that's just a large wall, so big. Maybe a business would like to put it up for Easter, or a church, I don't know. I don't want to do this just for money. I want to do this, and I want it to matter. But of course, I don't want to boast about it either. So am I hitting a fine line there? Give back, and it's not because I want to have a tax write-off. Good grief, how much could a wreath go for? I'm proud of my ability to do this, and I enjoy it, and I love sharing it with you, but I don't want to price gouge, and I want to be fair, but I also don't want to lose money at the same time. I think I just went off into a tangent without really having a direction. That's what. Anyways, so you got your base, you got your cool little curly cue here, and I'm wrapping it. I am going to go get more vines, so just bear with me. I think you see one side is a little bit thicker than the others. This is just excess vine shredding, like little vines, baby vines, right? And what I'm gonna do with those, I'm going to take them so that I can go through the area, come back. I'm going to just wrap them around these loose parts here, and then I just tie it up. They are so durable. I just tuck that bad boy back in there somewhere, maybe over here. I'm gonna tuck him in that side, right? And then this little guy who is just dangling, I'm gonna tuck him somewhere. He's releasing himself. I'm gonna get more vines, and then I can push him back in. I'm just gonna leave it on. You might not see me for a second. Coming down. I do true crime can get a little bit quiet out here. We don't want that on there. Cool, right? But maybe for Halloween, some weird Stranger Things thing, or Demogorgons and stuff like that. Not for spring. We're not opposed to Halloween. We're just not decorating for Halloween in July because we love it so much more than that. Oh my gosh, we're already at 35 minutes. You know what? I will look at my lobbers and let the lobbers do that part. I am burning up under this vintage Colombian jacket I have on, which I also have a Poshmark. Funny that I'm plugging that in. Just actually stuff that we don't wear anymore, the baby grew out of, or had just lying around our house, or we pick up from a thrift store and it doesn't fit like we want it, because I do not try clothes on, which I probably should do more often. I see vines over there. Come on. I need a selfie stick. Do you know what? I probably will just be moving that just as much as I'm moving, and it's annoying. But I want to bring things to the market that people are there for, and not just my knickknacks from my Etsy shop that people don't care about as much as they do. I'm taking these gloves off. I'm burning up. As much as they do the pots and pans and pots. Gosh, I have a lot of editing to do. I sound like I'm having some kind of a medical event because I can't articulate my words and I'm burning up. But yeah, I have a bunch of little odd and end things on my Etsy. I had another lady who had lost her dad and needed a wreath that was not so floofy. She just wanted the base. She did end up purchasing a 32-inch wreath, and that shipped all the way to Arizona. And I felt like I could be a part of something of her life that was meaningful. I too lost my dad, and it was a part of my life at the time that felt like really devastating. I can share this, but I lost my dad to suicide, and I was 25 at the time, but I still needed him, right? I still needed my father. I still needed that guidance, and he was my best friend. And losing him in the thick of it, I was just angry, but I gained a lot of perspective. Life is not that serious, right? We all end up leaving this world at some point, and we have to know that what we do here while we are still in this world, it matters. What do you want to be remembered for? And I tell my girls this all the time. What do you want to be remembered for? I don't want someone to stand up at my funeral and talk about all the things I accomplished. I don't want that, because it's all going to probably boil down to she wrapped wreaths at the end. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't want to be remembered for the accomplishment. I want to be remembered for, I did not mean for this to go this way, but how did I affect people? How did I respond to people that were not kind? How was my character? Was my integrity intact? I do want someone to stand up and to say I was a good mother. That was my priority. I wasn't perfect, because I'm not. I've made a lot of mistakes. I don't think you can go through life without that. Life is suffering. You are going to suffer a lot. You are going to suffer a great amount, and you're going to fail, and you're going to have probably more fails than you are going to have successes. But it's how you handle those failures that really shines. You will speak what's in your heart. You will have nonverbal reactions to what's in your heart. And I just want to be remembered for being kind and not caring so much about what the world thinks of me, but what God thinks of me. I am a sinner. We all are, right? I was born a sinner, and Christ gave the ultimate sacrifice for me. And all of my mistakes, there are many, but I serve a Heavenly Father who forgives, and that does not mean we go out and keep doing crazy stuff, because if we continue to do it until our dying day, that's what we're going to be remembered for. If we do something crazy up to the end, if we do something of not so good character, or if we hurt people or talk badly about people, regardless of who they are, regardless of maybe what they've done to you, you're going to be remembered for that up until the bitter end. And I don't want that. My dad was the most patient, loving, kind person, and I was oblivious to his struggles, and his death changed me. It just rocked me to the core, and it changed my perspective on life and who I want to be, and made me more aware of people that might be struggling as well. I can see it. I can see sadness, and I can also misinterpret sadness too. Maybe someone just has that face, right? But his death changed the perspective, and then when a close family member of mine was dealing with it, I had to be the advocate for that person. And I don't want to say, because it's not my story to tell, there's a reason why. I truly believe that there is a saying, and you've probably heard this before, God won't give you more than you can handle. Come on. I think he gives you just enough to form you, to mold you to becoming the person that you were created, to put you in sticky situations, and you know how to deal with them this time. Again, not perfect. I don't know how to always deal with things, so learning how to not react when things are piling up around me. But anyway, I want you to know that you are loved. I'm not sure I'll ever share this either, but God loves you, and he sees you, and he calls you his. And you just go into this world and you get up every day and say, what do I want to be remembered for? Because if it's your last, guess what? That's the chance you get to be an example and a witness to other people. All right, So I believe, oh gosh, I shouldn't have been down that long. I am done with this wreath. I think she's perfect. She may need a little bit more. I definitely need to cut that root out, but I'm only doing one today because I'm exhausted from yesterday. Yesterday was a lot. Editing videos is a lot. So we'll see what happens with this one. All right, again, I love you all. I will be praying you continue to have a good week. I hope to see you again. And if you like what you see, give us a shout. We have a couple of social medias. I'm still learning how to do all that. Just know I'm new and I'm a baby YouTuber. So, all right, take care.